Barbara, Martin Coppola, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So you're CMO of Grubhub, and you've been in that role now for going almost 2 years, is that correct at this point?
Year and a half.
Year and a half, okay,
exactly,
so not
yeah.
quite 2 years. Talk a little bit about Grubhub's journey, kind of where are we sort of in its process at the moment?
So Grubhub has been around for almost 10 years now, and they had a very interesting growth trajectory, being the first in the takeout market actually, and really growing the habit of ordering food online. And so the company went public about a year and a half ago, a little bit more now, and they merged with Seamless, which was at the time an equivalent in size, based in New York, really, establishing the leadership position in the U.S. as the biggest online marketplace, connecting hungry diners to restaurants around the nation.
Yep. So it was really filling some white space. It was a business model that was meeting a need.
Meeting a need of convenience and choice, with the takeout market actually developing at a very rapid pace in the U.S., but also smartphones being mainstream and apps being mainstream, and this is really at your fingertips and really kind of tap and you get your food delivered. So it's very convenient for busy people.
Yep. So it was really catching that wave of the mobile space, the mobile platform that all consumers were now so increasingly engaged with. Talk a little bit about yourself. You came from Google. And you actually, you're unique as a CMO, given your deep understanding of data and and engineering, in fact, and also your love of all things creative and art and food. Talk about how this job really was a melding of your strengths, as an executive.
100%. So, my vision of marketing is. You can really achieve the maximum effect when you have a storytelling and an emotional connection with the human side of people, while at the same time using data to be extremely relevant in the communications. And in the world of higher efficiency of the spend, data and managing through data helps a lot. So I'm an engineer by training. I'm very, very comfortable with data. I like actually the fact that launching things in the market rapidly and being able to measure through data is actually incredibly liberating and empowering to actually launch more and more tests in the marketplace so we can run the business more effectively. On the other side, we're marketing to human beings. And the fact of establishing a connection that is a deep connection with the users is important. And I think this is done through setting up a mission and values inside and really exposing that outside in meaningful ways through the channel that matter to people.
Sure. I've heard, in talking to other CMOs lately, I've heard it seems like the pendulum is shifting though a little bit. I feel like as an industry or as a group in general, we got so hyper-focused on data that we sort of lost some of the key tenets of storytelling. And that in fact some of the creative work became less good, if you will, even or because of the reliance on data. Can you talk a little bit about where we are in that process, and do you see the pendulum swinging back? Perhaps it was too far on the data side for a while?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is still a very big need for brands to connect with users through storytelling, through visual beauty, through stories that are meaningful for people. But I think what it's important is to be able to adapt to the speed at which they consume stories.
Okay.
And so
the speed is the key element there.
The speed is the key. So we're not at a one campaign per quarter anymore, which we can spend maybe a quarter and a half kind of like putting together. This is like a dialogue every day. And either you're part of the dialogue or you're not.
Sure.
And so it's building the equity for the brand at a big scale through daily interactions.
Okay.
And I think that's the challenge of the maximizing all the channels and the efficiency of the marketing while still telling a story in the marketplace.
Yeah. Speaking of storytelling and brand equity, Grubhub, we know, how do you define the value or the equity within the Grubhub name vis-a-vis, frankly, the restaurants that you partner with?
100%. Grubhub has a lot of equity and has a lot of trust with restaurants. So think that there's 45,000 restaurants on the platform today, and many of them have been in the platform since like many years, and it's an always growing base. So there's a clear value creation that we have for the restaurants. Grubhub started with young people when it launched. It really was like more towards campus people and college people, and actually it started to be a lot more mainstream. And we have maintained the name, and we're evolving with the name into giving the service to a lot of different targets out there. Moms think about how busy they are and how they need help, and so we provide a variety of food and restaurant and choice that can actually fit into many different people's lives. For now, it has gone in the positive way. People are adopting actually the service.
Where do you go from here? What can we expect to see from Grubhub on, from an advertising or branding point of view?
We're just getting started.
Yeah?
Yes. So we introduced the evolution of the brand by February this year.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been following the stock price. Things are going really well for Grubhub. We're building agility. We're building more storytelling. We just launched a content site, for instance, which is called The Crave, knowing that food is a passion point for people. And so really providing the content they're interested in as a way of expression, as well as a way of getting traffic to the site. So what we're doing is really elevating the brand around food. And we do takeout, but we're about food. Yeah. So it's a higher up sort of elevation of the stories we tell, what matters in life, the philosophy
you want
behind.
To be associated with.
Exactly. Sure. And so it really, goes all the way from the aesthetics and the evolution, the assets that we produce, the stories we tell, the positioning into a lifestyle that people want to embrace. And so we're actually as ambitious as really changing the landscape and the takeout category as a whole. From maybe cheaper, greasier food to a lifestyle that, by the way, is embraced in New York already. And so there's just tons to do.